So Nick Fuentes is on the rise. I don't know if you've heard of him. I'm sure you have by now. We're going to take a look at this video. It's a trailer that was put together after the conversation that Tucker Carlson had with Candace Owen and then Nick's reaction. But it's kind of like it's an art video, but it has a very strong, compelling point. I had to cover this. I had to go through this because it's pretty interesting to watch.
You just interviewed Nick Fuentes.
I did.
Or had a conversation with him. What did you think of that? What do you think of him?
My experience with Nick Fuentes is that he's a terrible person and a terrible human being.
But he is clearly part of a campaign to discredit non-crazy right voices.
I can confirm he's dishonest.
This child, this weird little gay kid in his basement in Chicago, young white men who've been totally cut out of our economy. I mean, they really are the victims, and they're desperate, and no one speaks for them. So they go to Fuentes because he's like incredibly articulate, and they think he's our leader. But in one of the saddest ironies of all, like he's acting against your interests, actually.
But then when it comes to me, I'm one of the real disaffected white people. You want to talk about me and them? I am them. He says Nick Fuentes is leading all of the disaffected young white men. I am a disaffected young white man. I was a precocious, intelligent, young white college student who went to Boston University, who was pro-Trump and red-pilled by Trump and animated by Trump's message of America first. And I asked questions about Israel, and I was punished for it. I did it years before Tucker Carlson started talking about Israel last year. And I sacrificed, and I was targeted by the ADL, by the SPLC, by the federal government, by the conservative movement that both Candace and Tucker were a part of. He's lonely, he's weird, he lives in a basement. That's a lot of people because of the problems you claim to care about. Do you care about Klarna and people going into debt to order pizzas and home ownership being impossible? Or do you think that's a contemptible, low-status thing to be ridiculed and mocked? What is wrong with being from Chicago? What is wrong with being weird? What is wrong with living in your basement? I'm the inauthentic person. I am that person. I am a spokesman for the disaffected white man because I am one, and you two are not. My dad didn't even graduate college. My mother's father was a garbage man in Chicago, and he committed suicide. He was a veteran of World War II. Who's the CIA cutout? Who's the poser? Who is America? I am America. Chicago is America. That's an American story.
Wow. So that video deserves its due, and it deserves to be watched. I mean, just for this sheer art and putting that together, Nick Fuentes definitely just watching his show. He is on Rumble. That's where you can find him, Rumble and on X. This guy is very interesting. I also wanted to take another clip of this gives a little insight that I found to why he has switched from Trump. He doesn't believe in Trump. He's not for Trump anymore. And why he did not vote for Trump in this previous election. I just wanted to show this because I've been interested in finding out kind of the things that are underpinning a lot of his views in this world and what is happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted him to lose so that we could elect Yay in 2024. That was or in 2028. That was kind of my big idea. I think the country is ready to reject Trump as like not radical enough.
Giga Trump.
And a true Hitler-level leader can arise in him because he's sort of preventing that from happening in a way.
From holding the spot.
Right. But this may be the best case scenario where his crash out might fuel the rise of that next person.
Almost like Arthur Fleck inspiring the creation of the next Joker who slashes him at the end of the thing.
That's right.
He's like, you want to know how I got these scars? And he shows you how he gets the scars.
All right, so that gives a little bit of where this guy is coming from. He wants radical change, and he thought Trump was going to deliver on that, and Trump has, in his opinion, faltered on that. I'm definitely not as pro like Trump as I was, especially the whole Epstein thing, I think, turned a lot of people from thinking that he was, different than everyone else. And that's what's very tough right now for a lot of people that have been behind Trump and believed in what he was doing. I still do overall stand with Trump, and I think he is the best option we have that we had and we have right now, because if we would have went Kamala last election, who knows where we would be. The people that are on the internet and saying anything right now, it would have been completely squelched. So you got to keep that in the back of your mind. He wanted Trump to lose so that Kanye could have ran for president in 2028. Kanye might be a president in 2028, but that would be a complete shift. But something that has really stood out to me right now and what is happening is there is this vehement turn and almost distaste and hatred for the nation of Israel and for Jews. It is this anti-Semitic spirit is just rising, and I've because the younger generation is just being poured into them to hate Israel. And I like everything, not everything, but most of the part what Nick is doing. But the whole I don't agree with him on everything Israel. I mean, it's so complicated because what he is saying is probably legitimate and right, what Israel has done and how they've infiltrated our government and they have a hand in everything. And they're almost this global behemoth over everything and is controlling everything. And if you're not supporting them, they're going to just completely squelch you, which they did. They canceled Nick. And it's just by a miraculous event that he's been able to come back and almost become mainstream. So there is that element that it is like they're doing some terrible things. I agree with that. But I know from the Bible that Israel has never been perfect. They've never been awesome. They've never been great. They do everything evil under the sun, just like every other nation. And as we see in the Old Testament, they do a lot of things worse than all the other nations. And that's what in Ezekiel, that God just makes it clear that everybody else is whoring themselves out to idols and all these other false gods. But it's like Israel is paying for these false gods, and they're departing their God and their father. They're going after these things. So they're not a great, perfect nation. I understand that. But the underpinning nature of all of this and his viewpoint on everything is replacement theology. And he would be, I would say, probably out in the open that he agrees with replacement theology, that the church Christianity has replaced Israel. Israel was the thing of the past. It was for infancy and God bringing in the Messiah. But now the church is here. We don't need Israel. We don't need the Jews anymore. They're Christ killers. And so that is why I think Satan is just hijacking a lot of probably what he has, he has startling, striking, good viewpoints about everything. He's seeing things clearly, but he's starting from an incorrect, wrong foundation. The foundation that he is standing on is wrong. And it's the foundation that most of the church is built on, that we are the new man. We are the new man. The old man is gone. Israel is gone. They are Christ killers. I mean, there's different directions you can go with it, but that's the tough thing, because I think a lot of things that he is saying is very good and very to the point and correct. He says a lot of bombastic, just out there things that will just rattle you. I mean, he's not afraid to say the N-word many times. He's not afraid to say a lot of things that just nobody would touch on. So I applaud him. I don't know if I applaud him for saying some of the things, and some of the things can really just, I don't know if I could, I don't think I could do that, in good conscience. But I mean, people have different consciences than others, People have different, everybody is standing before God, and you can see there's a difference between him just on his show. He knows how to light it up. And he can just weave everything together. He speaks very clearly, articulately. He can get to the heart of most everything. But some of the things are just overly shocking, but I'm almost in I wish I could do that. I don't know if I could, because I don't have maybe that strong of conscience that he does. But either way, I applaud him in a lot of ways and what he's doing. And it's everybody, you better take notice of this guy. He is taking the internet by storm. Everybody better get ready for Nick Fuentes. The genie has been let out of the bottle. And I would say who done it was Candace Owens. She was the one who unleashed this guy. And I think it's a good thing. He needed to be unleashed, because he was, by literal definition, leashed. And you could say it was the Jews, you could say it was Israel who did that, but it all starts with I want to strongly get this across. He is an incorrect viewpoint, and he's starting from the get-go at a wrong position and thinking that the church, that just Christianity, I'm a Christian. Jesus is the Messiah, he is the Christ, but that doesn't mean that we just replaced Israel. It's God's one, it's the Gentiles that are being grafted in to the olive tree. So we'll leave it at that. Follow me on X and Instagram at Brandon Fogel. Have a great day. Peace, everyone.